What is up? Welcome in to the Early Edge. I'm your host, Allan Bell. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you this Saturday. And one of our folks is back in the United States. Excited to have her back on the show. But before we jump into it, let's take a look at how we did on Friday. And a lot of X's, not good at all. That said, look at Sia. I know that the numbers dropped down in regards to pushes, but however, took care of business there. And the Maestro coming through with Bruce Brown there. Over 9.5 points. Yesterday was the start of the college baseball super regionals. We went 2 out of 3. Virginia, I don't know if anybody watched this. We were like 1 foot away from a walk-off and a perfect day, but we'll take it. Oregon had a massive comeback there to take down Oral Roberts, and TCU took care of business against Indiana State. You see what we're on today from previous. We've got Tennessee on the money line against Southern Miss, and we've got the super regional series games here. Stanford, Texas, they get game 1 today. Southern Miss, Tennessee, obviously game 1 today. But Florida, South Carolina, over 2.5 games. So essentially, if you wrote this, Florida won game 1. So we're essentially South Carolina money line today on that. But you know what? We got more picks, and let's bring in the stars of the show. Because you know what? Nobody wants to hear me yapping. It's no fun in the Mackenzie Brooks. Welcome back to the United States. How are you?
I'm good. Excited to be back. Catch the tail end of this NBA Finals and put in the work that I can while I'm here.
Yep, absolutely. It's good to have you back. Propstarz, my man. How we doing, dude?
AB, good morning. Hope everyone's doing well. Fired up. Love these Saturday streams.
Yeah, they are fun. Max, what's good, bro?
What's good? Happy Saturday here. It's a beautiful day in New York. No more smoke, so we're all good.
Yeah. Is everything okay with that? Right. Like I've been watching it on the news. I was thinking about you, man. Like everything good up there?
Yeah. It for like 48 hours, almost like 3 days, it was kind of bad, and for like 24 hours, it was really bad. But yesterday, honestly, perfectly fine. Today is even better.
Yeah. All right. Well, perfect, man. I'll tell you what, man. You know what? Since you dealt with all that, you're our leadoff hitter today, man. Let it rip, bro. What you got?
All right. Well, I was saying to Propstarz this morning, I didn't really love a ton of stuff in MLB today. A lot of times we look for K props, and there was one that I went to, and I'll give it to you right here. It's on Tristan McKenzie at under 6.5 strikeouts. There's a lot to like about McKenzie's first outing. He struck out 10, 5 innings, only gave up 1 hit. Slider looked really good. Slider, sweeper, whatever you want to call it, looked really good. So for that pitch, and him using that pitch more, like that could actually change the type of pitcher that he is in the long run. But after only 1 start, we get a 6.5 line on him. He was only over this in 11 of 30 games last year. So I think 6.5 is a bit overzealous, and probably coming from that 10 strikeout performance more so than his performance last year. So I'm going to bet against him here today to get over 6.5. It's -135 for the under on DK. That's where I played it. And like I said, only 79 pitches last time. Just not sure he's actually going to have the run here today to get into that, 7th inning and trying to get that 7th strikeout. So I'll take the under 6.5. If that slider is really just a new pitch for him that's going crazy, maybe we'll adjust. But right now I'm going to still look at his past performances from last year as more of a benchmark than just that 1 start of 10 strikeouts. And it was against Minnesota, pretty much the easiest of matchups that you could ask for in terms of the strikeouts. So underplay there. And then AB, we love this guy. He's facing a lefty. It's Christian Walker. I'm going over 1.5. Yeah, that's my boy. I'm going over 1.5 on the hits, runs, RBIs against Matt Boyd today. I actually don't think that Matt Boyd has been, an awful pitcher of late, but Christian Walker going up against a lefty, he's hitting over 300 against lefties, almost 1,100 OPS against them this year. In almost 60 at-bats, he's got 17 hits. 9 of those have gone for extra bases. He's got 16 RBIs. And when you look at him recently, I wrote down here, 6 of his last 7, he's been over this number, and it was 7 of his last 10. So I definitely like Walker. I think even if he does walk, literally, it's in his name, but if he does walk here today, we're covered on the hits, runs, RBI side instead of the total bases side.
Yeah, dude, you bring up a good point too, like in regards to that, right? Because I know me and you, we play a ton of Atlanta Braves, players in regards to this, Acuna, Olsen, Austin Riley, keep going down the list. Like a lot of players, man, like, especially if they hit 4 or 5 hole, right? Like if they walk, you're like, damn, like nobody's going to bring him around. But
Yeah.
he's got the lineup behind him to do it. So it's like, all right, man, I can take the walk here. I don't like a hit, but somebody bring him around. We'll be all set. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Definitely.
Yep, for sure, man. All right, we're going to stay in baseball here. We're going to switch to college. But first, before we do, let's take a quick break and hear from one of our partners. And we are back. All right, so I've got 3 plays, college baseball. All right, I'm going to leave you guys on the screen. I want you guys' thoughts. You tell me the one that you like the most today from the Super Regionals. All right, first off, going to the late night game, Texas money line. All right, against Stanford in Palo Alto. All right, we called Texas to win the Miami Regional when everybody thought we were crazy. Texas kind of got it together. Their coach may or may not, but definitely painted the walls with vulgarities before they jumped into that regional, and it worked because Texas was not playing good baseball, and they turned that around quickly. So we're going to go Texas on the money line here tonight against Stanford in game 1. Now, second one, Virginia Duke, over 11.5, priced at -120. Yeah, Duke ends up winning, 5-4 in game 1, a surprise. Virginia, one of the hottest teams in the country here. I think Virginia comes out, honestly, just mashing. They're at home, and what else do you have to lose? You lose one more game and you're done. Season's over, right? So do what you do. Get up and mash. And then we know Duke. I mean, they've got a dude on their roster who delayed an ACL surgery, all right? Dude comes out and smashing 3 bombs in a game in the regionals, right? Like, I mean, this dude's like, the team can hit, they can rake, they have a lot of fun. Virginia's the same way. So I think we're going to go over 11.5 on that one. And then lastly, all right, now, yesterday you saw on Twitter, as soon as we hit the TCU play against Indiana State, I immediately said, put me down for TCU in game 2 money line. I'm still in on it. I'm not going to put it on the show because it's at -180. So if anybody wants to ride it, I mean, I'm in. I'm telling you personally, it's an official play with me, but I'm not going to make everybody on the show ride a 180. What I am going to do is we're going to play the over 10, and I'll tell you why. TCU is the hottest hitting team in the country. They honestly played their worst game that they've had all season long in game 1 against Indiana State, and they won 4-1. Should have been 4-0. Indiana State hit a bomb in the 9th inning that really didn't matter. They're not doing it twice. Like TCU legitimately, I think at home with everything on the line to go to Omaha, the College World Series today, quite frankly, I'm just going to go ahead and call it. They're going to cover this on their own. Like, I think that they get to double-digit runs. I think TCU just mashes and hammers all day long. So anybody have any thoughts on those 3 right there?
I like that Virginia over. Virginia Duke, you said?
Yeah. Those 2 teams can mash, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Props.
I'm a big proponent for writing vulgarities on the wall, so I'm going to have to back the Texas play.
I am too, man. And I said that in the regionals. I was like, dude, Texas isn't playing, man. Like, they're fired up for sure. All right, speaking of fired up, kids, it's good to have you back. Now, let me say this. It's good to have you back. All right, now you're looking at the NBA, all right? Game 5, correct?
Correct.
Break it down. What do you got?
Yeah, we're looking at some early lines here today for Monday. I'm going with over 208. Look, I think a lot of the reason we've seen these Denver wins go under is because they've objectively had control through the game, and they've had some room to take their foot off the gas either in the 3rd quarter or the 4th quarter. But I have a really hard time believing with an NBA title on the line that these guys are not playing 100% through this entire game. This play has everything to do with the 4th quarter for me. And even if the game script's different, even if it's a head-to-head game with Miami, that's all more the reason that they will be playing hard. So I think we see a different version of Denver tonight or on Monday in the 4th quarter. Our Sims have this at 217, which at this point in the season to have that much of discrepancy with the odds makers who are at their sharpest, that's a pretty big deal for our team over here. So even if we're not getting to 217, I think we're certainly getting over 208 in this game 5.
Love it. Love it. Now, last night, so we were doing CBS Sports HQ live through the game, right? And then we were giving picks at halftime, whatever. And I was looking on the SportsLine site, and there were like 17 of us that had like plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw you had one. I don't remember what it was, but you hit, I believe, correct?
I did.
What were you on last night?
I had Gordon over 18.5 points and rebounds, and that guy went soaring over that with just points. So good day to be backing Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, definitely was. Nice job on that. And then the over 2.8 on Monday. All right, Propstarz, man. You're a cleanup hitter, bro. Bases are loaded. Get up and match, man. What do you got?
Let's go. 2 plays from the diamond today, AB, starting with Miami pitcher Sandy Alcantara. We're going to go over 19.5 outs. That's at least 6 2/3 innings pitched. This is a big number if you've been following Alcantara this season. He has struggled this year compared to the stellar Cy Young campaign we saw last year, but I really think this is a spot for him to get back on track. I also think his struggles are a little bit exaggerated this year. If you look at his expected ERA, it's over 1 run lower than his actual ERA. I think he's really suffered from a tough schedule, and he's just had some unlucky breaks. 26 of his final 26 starts last season, he went over this 21 times. So he was just an absolute machine when it comes to eating up innings. Really hasn't been the case this season. It's closer to 45% this year, but he's facing a White Sox team. I really think this is a get-right spot for him. They have the 4th lowest OPS in baseball. They really struggle as well against right-handed pitchers. So I really think this is a spot for Alcantara to get back on track, to give you one of those vintage 7, 8, or even 9 inning performances out of him. And I also think there's really little discrepancy between 18.5 and 19.5 when we're looking at pitching outs. If he's going to go out there for the 7th inning, he's going out there with the intention to finish that inning. So I'm comfortable again with this number at 19.5. And then we're going to go to Los Angeles. We're going to take the lefty, Patrick Sandoval, over 17.5 outs. Cupcake matchup as well. Facing the Mariners, they are one of the worst hitting teams against opposing lefties. This game is at home, where he has much better home versus road splits. It's also at night, where he pitches a lot better at night in comparison to the day. So, I just think this is a bounce-back opportunity for Sandoval against one of the worst lineups in baseball. I also like his K-prop today, but I do prefer the 17.5 outs against a Mariners lineup that has really struggled.
I'm all in for a cupcake matchup, right? All in for that one. All right, nice job on that, man. 2 great picks. All right, now, before we get to the recap screen, really quickly, all right, our man Trent Wade has 4 NASCAR picks for this weekend. You guys tell me which one you're all in on, all right? So, it's the Toyota Save Mart 350. I know you guys are fired up for that one. All right, top 10 finish. AJ Allmendinger, minus 170. Austin Cindric, minus 155, it's only 3 plays, or a head-to-head race, Chase Elliott, minus 142 against Ross Chastain. Props, who you feeling?
I really dig almonds personally, so I'm going to go with the almond digger.
Kids, what do you like? You go top 10 finish or head-to-head here?
I was going to go top 10 finish. I also like the almond digger name, but, who am I to say? But I like a top 10 finish.
All right, there we go. Mags, what else?
All right, well, I'm a trend-looking guy, and last time I went with Keselowski because of how long his last name was, so I'll stick with the trend, and I'll go the Allmendinger. Once again, the longest last name there for me.
Maybe, are you more of a cashew man, or?
He is. Dude, he is. He's a cashew man for sure, man. All right, everybody, grab your paper, grab your pencil. Let's take a look at the recap here. And it looks great. Kansas on Heat Nuggets over 208. I'm riding Texas money line against Stanford minus 130. Virginia Duke over 11.5. Indiana State TCU over 10. All 3 of those college baseball in the Super Regionals. Propstarz is on Patrick Sandoval over 17.5 outs. Sandy, say it again for me. Say it right.
Alcantara. Or Alcantara, excuse me. Alcantara. I apologize. Alcantara. Like the Iran-Contra, but Alcantara.
That's what I wanted to get. We needed geopolitical issues here on the show. Over 19.5 outs. Amags is on Christian Walker over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And Tristan McKenzie under 6.5 strikeouts, priced at minus 135. All right. Before we get out of here, all right, one more thing that we have to do. We've got to play our game here. All right. So if anybody's new, brand new, welcome in. Glad to have you here. We are going to select each one of us one person to hit a bomb today. Major League Baseball. You guys good? I'm going to give you the options here. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mags, you're going to go first. Let me add this to the screen. Boom. All right. So our top 5. All right. According to SportsLine simulations here. Okay. Fernando Tatis, Kyle Schwarber, Mike Trout, Nolan Arenado, Shohei Ohtani. All right. Mags, you got first bats. What do you got?
I like a lot of these actually. Tatis in cores against a lefty. Schwarber, it's June. He crushes in June historically, and then Ohtani went yard last night, and he faces Wu, who's definitely had issues in his first start there. So I'll take Tatis because he's in cores, but I do like those other two I mentioned as well.
Okay. All right. Ken, stole it over to you. Now, look, this is you on the sports line at CBS Sports statisticians team. I mean, you guys are smarter. I can't even pronounce you guys' titles here. So this is all your work here. Who you on?
Yeah, this is my team's work here. I'm gonna go with the homer play though. Go with Kyle Schwarber. I agree. June's his month. I think he's just getting started here.
Nice. I like it. Props. Who you on?
I'm going to back a guy that Ken's and I both like, being a Philadelphia guy, Mike Trout, AB. Love the matchup for him as well. Hometown guy. Also want to say real quick, if you guys aren't tailing AB's College World Series picks, what are we doing here? AB is an absolute beast with the college picks. I wait for his picks every year. It's like a calendar I have just counting down the days. So glad that we finally get to reach this point of the season, AB, and you are an absolute mauler when it comes to the College World Series.
Dude, well, I appreciate that. Venmo's on the way. Thank you for saying that. Appreciate it, man. You know what, dude? I'm going to go with our boy, Nolan Arenado, Cardinals. All right? Going to get it around plus 300. That's my dog right there. Especially if the Cardinals, well, they usually wait till Sundays. When they roll out the powder blues, dude, the old school Cardinals use these, man. I love them for sure. Real quick, then we'll go. Any thoughts here on the starting pitchers in terms of strikeouts? You can see it there. Your boys up at top. Look. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Mackenzie Gore is smashing the props today because Kansas is back here in the States. That was a loose-tie joke. It wasn't that good, but you know what? We're going to ride it anyway. Aaron Nola, Joe Ryan, Kodai Senga. Any thoughts there that you guys have?
Since Ken's is back, it's a bad omen for our boy Amags' props. So
I was going to say there's two Mackenzies, and we need Tristan McKenzie to go under, which is good that his name is not up there on the projections because we have him under 6.5. So if he sticks to projections, that would definitely help us out. And I'll be fine with Gore going over. You can have that one, Kens.
Yeah, and I mentioned this in sorry, AB, I mentioned this in the Sandoval write-up. I do like his K prop quite a bit, again, against this Mariners team. One of the highest K rates in baseball. Really struggled versus opposing southpaws as well. And again, I just love the spot for Sandoval at home, playing at night, where he's a lot more comfortable. The splits, obviously, are advantageous for him there as well. So, yeah, I love Sandoval tonight.
I would agree with you, props, for sure. Yeah, I would agree with you there. I even played, I don't know if you guys want to go grab it. It might still be there on DK. It was minus 105 this morning. It was a same game parlay right there. It was Wu at 4Ks, Sandoval at 4Ks, almost even money. I just, Wu got 6 outs last time. 4 of them were by strikeout. He's a strikeout guy. Even if he gets run up today for the runs, he can still strike guys out. And to props point, I like the matchup for Sandoval.
All right, there we go. Kens, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I was just going to shift it back to the chat real quick. I see a lot of people, talking about this game on Monday too, and Denver. I really like their team total over 108.5 right now too. I think that might only get higher. So again, the over I'm taking has a lot to do with how I think the Nuggets are going to perform. So taking the Nuggets over 108.5 goes with the same game script, I think too.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Okay. First off, excellent addition right there. And I'm not putting you on the spot. Like, this isn't like an official pick or anything like that. But just going off the game script like that you're speaking of, right? Mm-hmm. So do you feel like the Nuggets cover that 9? Like, do you think it's a little bit of a blowout here to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think they do. And I like taking the total over 208 over the 108.5 just because, God forbid, it doesn't. It gives me a little more wiggle room of what the game script ends up being. But I definitely think I'll sprinkle the 108.5 and the spread.
Nice. All right. And I'll also say this, and we'll end it here, and I promise I'll let everyone enjoy their weekends and get to it. So we've been riding the Nikola Jokic over 1.5 threes prop throughout the playoffs. All right. It's hit in 11 of 19. It's always at 1.5. It's always plus money. So, I mean, we're sitting excellent profit. Like last night is plus 139, right? I want to say this. For anyone out there, now that it's 3-1 and it's going back to Denver, if anybody out there is sitting on profit on it right now and you want to start looking for the interstate exit on this prop, I totally get it, right? Because game 5, like when you have a closeout game, things can get weird, right? So I want to say, like, I'm going to be on it for sure, but anybody that has made their money, ready to get out, totally get it, because understand, quitting while you're ahead is not the same as quitting, right? So if anybody out there wants to take their money and run, do it. It's been a hell of a run throughout the playoffs. It's been a lot of fun for sure. But that's all that time we have for it today. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be live Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, normal time. Coach and the crew ready to go. But until then, everybody, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.